And a great Thursday evening, everyone. How's it going? I am Nick LeBlanc. This is TitleTown Throwdown. And hey, it is the beginning of hockey season. The Boston Bruins are finally back in action. Not quite yet at the TD Garden, though. That is coming. I believe, on Wednesday of next week, so we can be on the lookout for that. I wish that was a Patrice Bergeron jersey behind me. Sadly, it is a Zdeno Chara jersey. But still, the captain, the Bees are back. And, hey, listen. We know how the season was last year, okay? The Bruins, steamrolling the way to a President's Trophy win. And COVID happened, and then the season got paused, and they went to the bubble. And frankly, when they went to the Toronto bubble, the Bruins were meh at best. I mean, they competed, they looked good at times. There are flashes of the Boston Bruins that we've known and loved, but it was what it was. The Bruins are about to begin the season in just a little bit against the New Jersey Devils. And what better way to talk some Boston sports, along with every other national topic that's out there, and I would like to welcome in the hosts of MMA Complete, Zach and Austin. Guys, how we doing?
Great. Thanks for having us on, Nick. Really excited. I also got the Chara jersey back here, so hate to see it, but let's go Bruins.
Reppin'.
I'm going to be watching a bit of the Capitals game later on tonight, see how Chara looks in the Capitals jersey and see how well he plays. Seeing him in the Capitals jersey, I might actually have to shed a tear. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's going to be so weird,
yeah,
man.
That's weird. But, I mean, at least he's on a team that is go for the Stanley Cup or something,
That's true. All right, so we're going into this Boston Bruins season. Chara's gone. Torrey Krug is gone. This team didn't really do anything in the offseason to really add on to the defense or really a second-line winger to play with David Krejci. So, in your guys' mind, how do you think the Bruins will do this season with very little help on the defensive end, and David Krejci still doesn't have that right winger?
They definitely need to make moves on defense. The defense is definitely our lowest point as the team, I'd say. I definitely think I also saw a report on Twitter that they're expecting to make moves, just not yet. They're waiting for the right time. But I do think they make moves on defense. And with losing your team captain, who's been on your team for 13 years, I mean, I expect them to as a fan. You know what I mean? It's pretty obvious.
Absolutely. I mean, Patrice Bergeron's going to be able to step into those shoes, I think, pretty well. Gotta love Bergie. We still got Marchand. We got Pasternak, who's only going to improve still. I'm still a little bit worried about Tuukka. He left us with a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth. I know he's still one of the best goalies and still very proud of him. We'll have to have him on the team, but the defense, especially with Chara's absence, I mean, we got McAvoy still holding it down. Only time will tell. I think that they need to make moves as well.
I think not having a 7-foot stick back there is huge.
Yeah, it is going to be a very odd sight to see. I mean, Zach, I agree with you. He left a very sour taste in everyone's mouth, but again, he had his reason for leaving the Toronto bubble. I personally do not blame him after his decision. I just felt that at the time, leaving your team high and dry in the middle of a playoff series was a little bit of a head scratcher until we found out the real reason. And I absolutely understood. Tuukka Rask is a father first, an athlete second in his mind. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to be too concerned. Tuukka, I think maybe the extra rest may have helped him after being off for 5 months. And look, Rask, he didn't look good in the bubble either. I think he was battling some injuries himself. But I'm more concerned about Kevin Miller, the defensive. We haven't seen the guy in 16, 18 months since the last time he suited up to play a game. I don't know how well he's going to look. Who's done play next to Charlie McAvoy in the first line? I don't trust Brendan Carlo as far as I could throw him. Kevin Miller, again, we don't know how broken down he is. You're done to look at guys like Jeremy Lozon and Matt Grzelcyk to step up.
And that's a really tall order. You know, those guys haven't gotten a lot of playing time. And like you said, you know, hopefully moves are going to get made. I would expect nothing besides the first line of defense, Charlie McAvoy's pair, to be the first thing that they add on.
I think it's a lot of young guys. I hope they can stay hot. Like, we need Pasternak to have another MVP season.
Yeah, we're gonna have 200 goals scored to, you know. But who knows?
It's a very, I don't know. I don't see us making a playoff run this year. I think we need to take a year and kind of play the field. See what moves you can make, tick and tack kind of thing. But I don't see them doing anything much. There's too much talent in the league. They'd have to have a really, really aggressive offense.
And you look at the division that the Bruins are playing in this year with the realigned divisions for the NHL. They're in a division with the Rangers, the Islanders, the Washington Capitals, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers. All teams that have been very tough on the Bruins each of the last 5-6 seasons, especially Washington. They just kick your butt up and down the ice really at will. And now you add in your former captain, the 6'7" giant, who can just put his gigantic stick out of the way and just poke check you, like, ha ha, I poke checked you, loser. Exactly. Anyway, though, exactly. You know, so the Bruins are in a real tough division. I think the Bruins can get into the playoffs with the way this roster is constructed, with the way the division is. Just look, you're still playing the Buffalo Sabres, who absolutely are garbage. The Devils aren't going anywhere. The Rangers are still an up-and-coming team. So really, your only other threat, your really threats are the Capitals, Penguins, and the Flyers. And really, that's it. You can compete with those three teams and still get in, but then you have to play a playoff series against one of them. Forget about it.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even get to check out their outdoor classic the other day. How did the Bruins do against the Flyers?
The Bruins back in 2010, they beat the Flyers in the Winter Classic of Fenway. The Bruins and I actually wanted to get your guys' thought on this. The Bruins and the Flyers on February 21st are scheduled to play an outdoor game out in Lake Tahoe, and so your guys' opinion on really the matchup in general, and do you like the location Lake Tahoe? I'm kind of mixed about it.
I remember when they did one. I thought they had done one. It was the Rangers and someone else in New York. I thought it might have been like Times Square or something like that. I remember they did that a couple years ago. Honestly, I was mistaken. I was just saying that I thought that the Bruins and Flyers played like a day or two ago. So I was mistaken by that. Lake Tahoe is kind of a weird position. I get that they're trying to separate everything from COVID and they're trying to, you know, not do it in this hugely dense populated area. It's a little weird, but I'm a huge fan of any outdoor hockey game. I think it's super cool to see, and I think that the Bruins usually do well on them. So I'll be looking forward to it for sure.
I will also be looking forward to that. I remember watching the last one. I was pumped, and yeah, I expect them to get the win because they always play good outside. And Lake Tahoe's weird, man. It's weird. It's so weird, but whatever. I mean, yeah. It's gotta happen. The Winter Classic, so the show must go on.
Yeah, show must go on. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a lot of playoff football and football news in general. We got some major breaking news just before the show. As you can all tell on the bottom of the screen, Urban Meyer, the former Florida Gators and Ohio State Buckeyes head coach, is going to the National Football League to become the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to break down this hire. Coming up next, you're listening to TitleTown Throwdown on all SFBN Rhode Island platforms. Welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. I am your host, Nick LeBlanc, joined by the hosts of MMA Complete, Zach and Austin. Guys, thanks for joining. So, just wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Urban Meyer, the former Gator and Buckeye head coach, after not coaching in 3 years, is now making the move from college to the National Football League. And look, and really the history of college coaches going to the NFL, their track record is not good. So, Zach, want to start with you, then Austin, you can follow. Your thoughts on the Urban Meyer hire?
So Urban Meyer, I've been a huge fan of him ever since he was at Florida, and obviously he was the head coach when Tim Tebow was there. Urban Meyer is he was a great coach in college, but when you say that, you have to examine why that is. And a lot of that comes down to the scouting abilities from these two power schools. You know, we have the Florida Gators, who are one of the premier teams, especially in 2010 when he was there in the SEC conference. And then you go to Ohio State, which has obviously been one of the best teams over the last 10 years in the Big Ten. So both of those schools have tremendous scouting ability, which makes Urban Meyer's job a hell of a lot easier when he was there. You know, so we're going to get to see what he can do with a team like the Jaguars that have a lot of holes that need to be filled. And also one other thing I want to mention is that Urban Meyer was the head coach for Ohio State. Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields he's contending for the number one pick. You know, a lot of people think it's Trevor Lawrence, including myself. I assume that's the pick he will make, but it'd be interesting to see if Urban Meyer wants to go with his gut. Maybe he wants to trade down a couple picks to get Justin Fields because he thinks he's going to be a quarterback. It's a really interesting situation. I think that he will do well. He is in my division in the AFC South, so I hope that he's crap. But, you know, I'm wishing all the luck to him.
Yeah. Well, I think Urban Meyer's going to draft Trevor Lawrence because it suits fit. You know what I mean? He really it's a college quarterback with the college system. Big shoes to fill, I think.
There's a lot to prove.
A lot to prove. I mean, a lot to prove. Do they go over 8-8? I don't know.
Maybe
really
not
don't
his
know.
First year, but I don't know if anyone expects him to go over it first year.
I'm curious to see if he trades down a pick.
I think that could be a move for him. Get a little bit more capital and get some picks next year, right? Some more stuff.
Yeah, because I don't think you're going to do that good, so you would want to get picks for next year. I think that's a great idea. So maybe he does pick Justin Fields and trade down. I'm curious. I'm very curious about that. Your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, look, is Urban Meyer a real bad coach? No, he was very successful at the college ranks with both Florida and Ohio State. I believe he won, 3 national titles between the two? 4 national titles between the two schools? But, maybe the jump from two, was it 3?
I think it may have been 2. I think he won 1 with each, but it could have been 3. Ohio State's been up there for the last couple of years, so it might be.
Okay. But
I'll look it up.
Anyway, though, there's a huge difference between coaching at a college level than at the NFL level, because at the college level, you can get into the face of these kids, yell at them, try to help encourage them and coach them up a bit. You can't really do that to an NFL guy because he's going to look at you and say, who the hell are you talking to? I get paid $15 million here. I don't have to listen to you. I can do my own thing. So I just think Urban Meyer, it's going to be a young Jaguar team regardless anyway. And when it comes to to drafting quarterback. The team needs a quarterback. That's obvious. They shoveled out money for Nick Foles, and he failed. Gardner Minshew, he literally caught lightning in a bottle for like 5 weeks in 2019 and then fizzled out completely this year. Here's a bust. So now here you are, the Jaguars. They're back in the quarterback class, and you got two top quarterbacks in Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. And Austin, I definitely see where you're coming from too. He could trade down and get Justin Fields, or surprise everyone, take Justin Fields at number 1, and then there's Trevor Lawrence at number 2, ready for the New York Jets to just take him by the collar and drag him to New York and ruin his career.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that.
I think if Urban Meyer takes Justin Fields number 1, Urban Meyer will be fine in 2 years. Not only can Justin Fields may not even be the second quarterback taken. There's this guy, Zach Wilson, out of BYU, who is more of a prototypical pocket passer, who a lot of teams have been looking at for the top 5. Justin Fields obviously didn't have a great day against Alabama, which has hurt his draft stock. I expect his combine grades to help his stock a little bit. He's going to be very fast, and he's a very accurate quarterback. He's Dwayne Haskins coming out 2 years ago from Ohio State, but a much more mobile and a much more accurate Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
So I think his best move is to trade back maybe to pick 5 or 6, where I think he still can get Justin Fields. Add another first rounder next year, maybe get another 4th rounder this year, and just get those little picks, because obviously they need a quarterback, but they also need a cornerback replacement for Ramsey. They need defensive line help. They need offensive line help. They could use another receiver. There's so many holes on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope the Pats can either get Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. I do not want them to get Mac Jones. I do not want that to happen.
Yeah.
I really don't. System quarterback behind a great team. We talked about this, and I do not want him. But Patriots got the 14th pick. Looks like a 14th pick quarterback. I don't know. I don't want to see it.
I'll place a bet anywhere saying that Bill Belichick trades that pick for a bag of donuts. I will stick to that, because it will not surprise me. Bill Belichick trades that pick for a second rounder, then he drafts a guy out of Division 3. It would not. I don't think it surprised me, and I don't think it really shock anyone.
Drafts a safety.
Yeah.
All right,
I hope he doesn't just freaking give it away, dude.
Yeah, so a little bit more on the Urban Meyer story. That is a continuously developing story. No details on his contract just yet. Did want to read a quote, though, from the Jaguars ownership, Shad Khan. Just got to pop that up. So this is from Ian Rappaport on Twitter. This is a great day for Jacksonville and the Jaguars everywhere. Urban Meyer is who we want and need, a leader, winner, and champion who demands excellence and produces results. While Urban already enjoys a legacy in the game of football that few will ever match, his passion for the opportunity in front of him here in Jacksonville is powerful and unmistakable. I am proud to name Urban Meyer the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be careful what you wish for, Mr. Khan, because it is hard to translate what you do in college at the NFL level. But anyway, though, we're going to take another.
We saw Nick Saban, who.
Yep. Go right ahead.
I apologize. Go on.
No, go right ahead.
Okay, so Nick Saban, who is the greatest college football coach of all time. Obviously, Alabama is the best dynasty college football has seen in at least 40 years, if not of all time. Nick Saban had 2 former head coaching jobs in the NFL, one with the Dolphins, and I believe he may have actually been an assistant coach with the Patriots. Neither one of those turned out good at all. I think he had 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons with the Dolphins where they maybe got 7 wins total. It's the Dolphins, but Nick Saban, it's a similar position. We got a great college coach going to one of the worst teams, and sometimes that bad of a team is just too hard to overcome, even for these coaching geniuses.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect.
We got 4 divisional NFL games coming up this weekend. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Going to quickly recap Super Wildcard Weekend. And what's in store for our final 8 teams in the NFL? We're 2 weeks away from crowning a Super Bowl champion. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to TitleTown Throwdown here on all Sports Fanbase Network Rhode Island platforms. And welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. Here with Zach Drapo and Austin, the hosts of MMA Complete. Going to see what's going to be in store for those guys later on tonight. But first, I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on what were your thoughts on Wild Card Weekend?
The Colts should have won. That's my first thought. There was a lot of good games. I thought the Browns had their best game in like 20 seasons.
Yeah.
Props to the Bills. They're a great team. They're going to have a tough game against the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC by far. I think the Rams beat the Seahawks unbelievably with Jared Goff coming back midway through the game to get over his thumb injury, which is, again, bananas. And I think the Rams have a great shot against the Packers, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon. The Lamar Jackson had like the longest rush quarterbacks had in the playoffs, and who knows how long. And they limited Derrick Henry to 40 rushing yards. So the Baltimore offense and defense firing on both cylinders. And there's, the Buccaneers obviously beat the Washington football team, which no one was surprised by. Tom Brady looks good, and I'm looking forward to Tom Brady versus Drew Brees in the playoffs for the first time ever.
Yeah, I'm excited about that matchup as well. I think Brady squeaks it out. We'll get into that. But you pretty much said it. I agree. I agree. I think the Browns got lucky, extremely lucky, putting up 28 points in the first quarter. I think that's absurd, and I don't think that'll happen again.
I don't.
Teams do need to stop talking trash about them.
Absolutely.
They're putting pressure on them that they shouldn't have to, especially freaking the Chiefs. I mean, but it was a very interesting. It was very interesting weekend. Colts got screwed. You want to talk about that?
No, we're not.
Colts definitely got screwed. Lamar Jackson looked great. Fast.
Yeah.
I do not think they make a run though. They don't have much.
I think the Bills' defense is going to be too much for the Ravens, but I think that's a low-scoring game because I think that the Ravens' defense is going to be able to hold the Bills to probably under 27 points. So I think whoever has the last possession might be able to win that game. Yeah. Honestly, with a field goal, I don't think it's going to be separated by that much.
Packers need to watch out. They coming off a bye. They cannot be flat-footed.
Austin, I'm glad you brought up, teams talking smack about the Browns. Chase Claypool is one of them. He's another pinhead Steeler that cannot keep his mouth shut at all. He came out saying this: if the Browns had won with more class, then I wouldn't have been so salty about it. But then mocking Juju just didn't sit right with me. They can enjoy the win in another week of football, but they'll be on the couch right next to me next week. All right. First off, Chase. Your buddy Juju was too busy dancing on opponents' logos rather than focusing on the task at hand. All right, that's one. Two, you lost to a team that doesn't have a name. You lost to a team that doesn't have a name. Three, you started out 11-0, and you tried your last 6 football games. And look, do I blame the Browns for mocking Juju? No, he's too busy trying to show off for his fans on TikTok rather than trying to focus on what he needs to do to run a 10-yard route to get the ball from Ben Roethlisberger and go. So, no, I don't blame the Browns for Martin Juju. They have every right to do that. If the Browns win again this week, just don't look like a big clown. And the Browns shocked the world last week when you get up 28-0 after one quarter. It's mind-boggling when you go up 28-0 in one quarter. It pretty much sets the tone for the game.
That first play of the game is unbelievable. It's like watching a high school team.
Yeah,
it was literally like watching the Tiverton High School football team.
And that's saying a lot if you don't know Tiverton.
So here we are. Divisional weekend. We're down to the final 8 teams, and really everything's similar in both the AFC and the NFC. Both 6 seeds advanced, both 5 seeds advanced, both 2 seeds advanced, and now we got the 1 seed. See what the Packers and the Chiefs can do. So, and look, Andy Reid after a bye, any type of bye, playoffs and regular season, is 24-5 all time. So that already tells you that Andy Reid's going to have his team ready to go. So the Browns and the Chiefs Sunday afternoon at 3:00. Zach Austin, in your mind, what do the Browns need to do to upset the Kansas City Chiefs, who are at the moment 10-point favorites?
I'll let you do this first.
10-point favorites. Well, I definitely take the points on that, but I would. I don't know. I definitely think they need to have some defense. You cannot. What was the score? 49
to the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think it was 49-37.
You cannot let a team come back that bad after being up 28-0 in the first quarter. If you expect to come back against the Chiefs, you got to maintain that lead. You cannot slack for 1 second. Browns got lucky getting up 28 points, because if they didn't in the first quarter, they could have lost that game.
And I'll tell you what, Big Ben threw 4 picks, and you could be damn sure that Pat Mahomes ain't throwing 4 picks. He's been a little sloppy. Pat Mahomes definitely had a tale of 2 seasons, where his second half of the season was not as good. No. He threw probably like 6 picks in the last 8 games. Still not bad, but for Pat Mahomes, it is.
Yeah.
And so if he throws a pick, throws 2, the Browns have to capitalize on it.
If he throws 2 picks,
yeah,
that's a luxury.
But I'm gonna say that the Chiefs probably cover the spread. I think the Chiefs win by a pretty noticeable margin. The big thing about the Browns is they have a great running game, and if the Chiefs get ahead early, Browns can't run the ball. So I think that this game's going to be played out as we think it will.
Yeah, I definitely take it.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely take the -10.
The Browns are trying to find a way to stop Patrick Mahomes, contain Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill. You're able to contain those 2 guys and get Mahomes a little comfortable in the pocket. You got a shot. Now, look, Patrick Mahomes, he can make magic happen really out of anywhere. The guy can throw a ball without looking at a receiver. But if you can take away some running lanes from Mahomes, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, take away Kelce and Hill, which is a tall task as is, but take those 2 guys out of the game, make Mahomes throw to secondary options, the Browns will have a chance, but the Browns are going to have to be able to match what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs throw down the field and score a touchdown. The Browns have to throw down the field and score a touchdown. You can't just, give up a touchdown, then get a touchdown field goal, because by the time the second half rolls around, you have 9 points. The Chiefs already have 28, and you're already well behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, and the Chiefs don't have the best rushing defense, and that really is going to be the Browns' best chance to win. They're going to have to really run the ball and play the game that they have been playing all season. Baker Mayfield hasn't made a lot of mistakes. The Chiefs' defense is not great against the run, but hey, they're not good against the pass either. They're a little bit better, but
they're weak in wide receivers right now.
The Browns, they definitely are. I think all those players did get released out of COVID protocol, because they did miss 2 games ago. I think that they were present for the Steelers game, though. Yeah. But you have, like, Odell Beckham still gone. That's a huge
No,
loss.
yeah.
But I mean,
Chiefs defense has definitely improved over the years, but they're not on defense. They're on offense all the time. You know what I mean?
Baker Mayfield's going to have no turnovers to win this game. And if he can do that, might become a Browns fan. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think you made a great point, which I do want to bring up. Mahomes' second half of the season is awful. Well, not awful compared to his first half.
Right.
Still good. And I think that's why.
Coming off 2 weeks or 3 weeks because he didn't play the last week.
Yeah.
So coming off 2 weeks of not playing, who knows what the ring rust is going to be?
Yeah. I believe that is why Aaron Rodgers is MVP. I think Aaron Rodgers deserves it more than Pat Mahomes this season. That's just me.
Aaron Rodgers certainly has made a case for that. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and those Green Bay Packers, they are going to be hosting the Los Angeles Rams at Lambeau Field. A little fun fact too: in Rodgers' entire career, this is only the second time the Packers have had home field advantage throughout the NFC portion of the playoffs. The only other time they did it, they were 15-1 in 2011, and they lost to the New York Giants in the NFC Divisional Round. So hopefully deja vu does not happen again.
Wow.
Keys for the Rams and Packers game.
So I have a cold take here. I think the Packers will lose. I think that the Los Angeles defense is so strong. They have two elite corners, obviously headed by Jalen Ramsey. They have Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers. Their linebacker crew is all right. Not to mention, their offense is looking better. They just scored 30 points against Seattle.
Yeah.
The Packers defense is okay. They have Kenny Clark holding down D tackle. They got Adrian Amos in the safety. He's good. Jair Alexander is obviously a great corner. But
the left tackle,
Aaron Rodgers is not a great playoff quarterback. He's had 3 spectacular postseasons, and guess what? He's only been to the Super Bowl one time. He has all these
accolades.
He has all these accolades, but he has all these expectations of him.
Yeah.
And he rarely raises to them in the playoffs. I mean, I would like to see him win. I would like to see Aaron Rodgers get to the Super Bowl because obviously he deserves to go to another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I like the Rams' chances. Jared Goff did really well. Hopefully his hand's feeling better because he's still dealing with that broken thumb. I think that the Rams win this 28-27.
Yeah. I like that take, and you got me thinking because that left tackle on Green Bay is hurt too.
Yeah.
You got those killer D linemen on the Rams end. Oof. I wish you know what what's the spread? I want to know what the spread is because I definitely take the Rams on that. Definitely take the Rams. Yeah, you got me thinking Rams.
Green Bay is currently 6.5-point favorites in the game.
That's a lot of points.
Wow,
That's a lot of points, and I didn't buy the point. I definitely buy the point.
So I definitely see what you guys are coming on. Rodgers hasn't always performed up to par in the postseason, and that is fair. But one thing we got to know, though, too, Aaron Donald missed last week in Seattle with an injury. He's coming back this week. Don't know how effective he's really going to be. Jared Goff, as you pointed out, he's coming off that thumb surgery. You don't know how well he's going to be able to pass the ball, and he struggled last week throwing the ball against Seattle when he was thrown in there for Wolford. So I don't really know. The matchup to watch is Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams. If Jalen Ramsey can shut down Devontae Adams and force Aaron Rodgers to go to his secondary targets and Robert Tonyan, Martez Valdes-Scantling, and Alan Lazard, the Rams have a chance. And as you pointed out, Dave Bakhtiari, he's out with the torn ACL, the left tackle that they got from the Colts, who played for them last week. He's on the COVID list. So the Packers' offensive line is rough, but remember though, this is also the highest scoring offense in the entire National Football League. But at the same time, though, the Rams are the number 1 scoring defense in the National Football League. So it's gonna be a game of between which number 1 team is gonna be more powerful. Is it gonna be the bend don't break defense, or or the let's break it open offense of the Packers. It's going to be an interesting game. All right, moving on to the other Saturday game. Moving on to the other Saturday game, the Baltimore Ravens are taking on the Buffalo Bills. This is probably going to be one of the games of the weekend. Ravens, Bills, keys to the game for both teams. Zach, start with you.
Keys to the game for the Buffalo Bills is to score early and score often. The score early part, I think, is most important because if you make Lamar Jackson throw the ball 35, 40 times, it's not going to turn out well for them. If you let them get in a groove, if you let the Ravens chew up 20 minutes of the first half and just play their game, the Bills are going to have a tough time. The Bills' defense is good. The Bills' defense is really good. Trey White's a great corner. They always seem to have a great D-line. But the Ravens' offense is just so unpredictable that the Bills' offense is going to need to dictate the pace. Yeah. For the Ravens, I think their key is going to be to focus on defense. Now, I know that the Colts' offense isn't great, but last week the the Bills' defense was really able to hold them. And so if the Ravens are able to, I just totally messed that up. The Titans' offense is great, but the Ravens were really able to hold them last week, and they were really able to hold the Bills. They were really able to hold the Titans' rushing game to almost nothing.
Exactly.
And if the Bills can't run, I mean, obviously Josh Allen can throw, but the Ravens' defense is 2 stacked corners, a great safety, and an up-and-coming possible top 5 middle linebacker in Patrick Queen. So it's going to be a really great game. This game is probably the one I'm most excited for in the entire weekend.
Yeah. Well, I got the Bills, and I think they do have to come out and score first. I think that's huge, very important, and they need to contain Lamar Jackson. I expect them to run a lot of man, maybe blitz a lot. I do expect to see that. I expect Buffalo to come out and win by 2 touchdowns, honestly. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be able to perform. I think if they make him throw the ball, you're going to see interceptions thrown.
Lamar Jackson only had his first playoff win in his career last week.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I think inexperience on
both sides, though, because this is the first time the Bills have been in the playoffs.
It's very true. Very true. And Josh Allen, too. So,
right.
Yeah, I got the Bills. Better offense, better defense.
Yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head. Containing Lamar Jackson, it's really key for any type of Buffalo win if they're going to have a chance. And as you guys said, also, Bills have to score early and often because the Ravens defense, they were good last week because Ryan Tannehill, he cannot throw the ball great. He's just not a great throwing quarterback. And when you contain Derrick Henry to only 40 yards rushing, and rely on Tannehill to actually use his arm, if you're the Titans, you're absolutely scared. You're like, you don't know what to do. You're frozen in your foot. Like, well, what do we do now? If you can contain Lamar Jackson, keep him in the pocket, put pressure on him, blitz him consistently, it's great. And for the Ravens, you got to find a way to contain Stephon Diggs and don't let Josh Allen roll out of the pocket. Because if you let Allen roll out of the pocket, gives him an extra 2-3 seconds to find a guy, he will beat you on it. And that's how the Bills have played all season long. That's why the Bills have gotten to this point. And look, I thought the Bills had their hands full against the Colts. They absolutely did, with the benefit of a few questionable calls, I'll say. But either way, though, this is probably going to be one of the better games. All right. So to wrap up the divisional weekend,
last thing I'll say, Marcus Peters and Marlon Humphrey, two of the best man corners in the NFL. So whoever they put on Stephon Diggs will have a great chance. And Stephon Diggs, obviously the leading receiving yards wide receiver in the whole NFL. So blanketing Diggs, I think will go a very long way for the
Can they stop
Ravens
Diggs?
Defense.
I don't know. No one can.
All right. So the game of the week at 6:40 p.m. on Sunday, Brady v. Breeze, part number 3 of the 2020 season. Could this be the last matchup between Tom Brady and Drew Brees? We don't know. And the Saints, they beat up on the Buccaneers twice this season already. Once in New Orleans back in week 1, and then they just absolutely embarrassed the Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football in week number 9. And look, Tampa Bay, they've improved since then. New Orleans, they had some injuries to deal with, and especially Drew Brees with the broken ribs. So I think this is going to be a lot closer game too. And look, this is going to be the 21st time in the NFL that there are going to be 2 teams playing for the 3rd time this season. The last time a team beat a team 3 times in one season were the 2009 Dallas Cowboys when they beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Wild Card Weekend. But this is a bigger stage, though. This is for a chance to go to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, yeah.
The team that won the first 2 games of the matchup are 13-7 overall when it comes to trying to beat a team for the 3rd time. So the odds are in the Saints' favor. Zach Austin, what does Brady and company need to do to avoid losing a 3rd time to the Saints?
I'll sum it up, and I think we're probably going to have the same thing. The Buccaneers, if they win, and this is the only way to win, is they have to limit Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has been on fire the last 5-6 weeks. I mean, you got Michael Thomas coming back. He's going to be huge. Obviously, the Saints' defense is okay, but the Bucs need to limit Alvin Kamara. If they can limit Alvin Kamara, if they can limit the Saints to 28 points, I think the Bucs have it, because I think this game is the highest scoring game of the weekend.
Yeah, I think it might be the highest. Well, yeah, it might be the highest scoring game of the weekend for sure. I think Bucs are hot.
Yep.
Bucs are
Brady has been on fire.
That offense is on fire. Like,
Washington defense is really great, and they put up 35 points on them.
That's what I mean. And I think when you got injuries, Drew Brees, I don't see them winning. And I'm not saying it as a biased fan of Brady. I just think when you're as hot as they are right now, and the hiccups that the New Orleans Saints are having, I really, really think the Bucs have it. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see 40-28, 40-27.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see 42-38, 45-41. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
I was almost going to say the highest scoring of the whole playoffs, but we just had Steelers-Browns. So
yeah,
it's going to be hard to do that. But, yeah, I got Brady.
It is going to be a tough beat. And, talked about this last night on the Tom Gronkowski show with Ruth the Truth and Ron and Matt. Tom Brady has to be able to distribute the football all around. He needs to be able to go to Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and LaShawn McCoy going in the backfield. If you can throw it to 6, 7, 8 different guys, confuse that Tampa Bay defense, the Buccaneers have a great chance to run all over the Saints. But another thing, too, the Bucs have to control the time of possession. Take 7 minutes off the clock here. Take another 4 or 5 minutes off the clock there. Beautiful. The longer you keep Drew Brees on the sideline and you get touchdown, it forces the Saints to really force their hand and try to keep passing the ball. And I don't think Brees has that same zip on the football as he did about, say, 3 or 4 years ago. Near to Brady, but we've seen Brady take more deep shots this year than we have in the last 15 years in the Patriots. So that's one thing. But anyway, though, one final segment here to go. It is game picks. We're gonna rip through those. But here's a little something to get you ready for MMA Complete. You're listening to TitleTown Throwdown here on all SFBNRI Rhode Island platforms. All right. Welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. It is my favorite time of the show, as we do every week here for the National Football League. Nick's picks, we break down the games. We only got 4 of them to go here. The games getting less and less. It's disheartening to see that the NFL season is coming to an end, but close to trying to champion. And again, the fact that the NFL has made it this far into the season, despite all their COVID issues that they had, it's pretty exceptional for that they've been able to just go on with the season, and they didn't have to stop at all.
Mm.
All right, so
it was a bitch for fantasy football.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so here we go. The first game of the weekend. It is the LA Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers at 4:35. That you can catch that game on Fox. Again, Green Bay, number 1 scoring offense. Rams scoring defense. For me, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm going to know the Packers by 3, 30-27.
You go.
Me? Score. I don't know about the score. I think 28-24 Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to say 28-27 LA Rams.
Good for you. Good for you.
Right.
I definitely take the points, though, for the Rams.
All right, Saturday night at 8:15 on NBC. It is the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. In team history, the Buffalo Bills are 11-3 at home in the playoffs. You can't go wrong with that, but at the same time, the Bills, it's only their second home playoff game in 25 years. The Ravens, they've been here before. Ravens, a young team still. I'm going to know the Buffalo Bills 31-29.
Tight game. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills as well. I'm going to say it is 28-21.
28-21?
Yeah.
I got the Bills 27-13.
Okay. Lamar Jackson's going to struggle, huh?
He's going to struggle. I'm telling you right now. He's not going to be throwing touchdowns left and right.
All right, the first game on Sunday, the Cleveland Browns taking on the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is 7-0 all-time as head coach against the Cleveland Browns. 5-2 in the playoffs, coming off of a bye. Look, I think the Browns are going to give the Chiefs a game, but the Chiefs are going to run away with this probably by the end of the game. I'm going to go 40-27 Kansas City.
Ooh, 40 points for the Chiefs, huh? I am going to take a push here, and I'm going to say it's 34-24 Chiefs.
34-24? I got the Chiefs, obviously. But I definitely got the Chiefs scoring a lot. I'm going to say 45.
Wow.
To 27.
Okay.
I like 27.
All right, and the game of the week. This is going to be a must-watch, not only down in Tampa and New Orleans, but up here in New England and really all around the country. Number 5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 2, New Orleans Saints. For the third time this year, New Orleans has won 5 straight games against Tampa Bay. Three of them dating back to when Jameis Winston was still the starting quarterback for the Buccaneers, and plus the 2 games so far this season. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the entire weekend. I think Brady and Breeze are going to trade some blows. I'm going to go Brady and the Bucs here, 40-37.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go first because I don't even know yet. I'm gonna steal whatever you say.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm surprised the Bucs are favored just by the way they've been playing, honestly. But that's crazy. I'm definitely choosing the Bucs and probably 41-38.
Oh, you guys are both taking them. See, that sucks because I wanted to take the Bucs too. but like all three of us. You know what?
You got it.
I'm gonna take the old geezer, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fell off a cliff, did he? By the way,
Yeah, 5 years ago.
I'm gonna take the Buccaneers, 40-38.
40 to 38.
40-38.
All right. I'm glad we're all in the same ballpark because I thought.
Yeah, we had some.
We all think it's going to be a high scoring game. All right, guys, what's on the tab for MMA Complete tonight?
Well, we got a fight night coming up this weekend. Very exciting. Max Holloway, Calvin Guitar. Next weekend, next Saturday, January 23rd, Conor McGregor returns to fight Dustin Poirier. And we will be live streaming all our Thursday night podcasts as usual, but we also live stream on those fight nights. We'll be live streaming January 23rd from about 8 p.m. to about 1 a.m. So everybody come check us out. And by the way, Nick, hell of a show.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a fun show. Great to get somebody else's input on these games too. So Zach, Austin, have a great show tonight, guys. As for everyone, I will talk to you next week. Where once again we will review all the divisional round games and preview Championship Sunday. Yeah, we're getting close. Each week we're getting closer to crowning a new Super Bowl champion.
Getting real close.
Or we just crown the reigning Super Bowl champions again in the Chiefs, which frankly I wouldn't doubt if we do that again. But we'll see. Zach, Austin again.
Yeah,
Chiefs
are going to repeat for sure.
Chiefs are going to repeat.
All right, Zach, Austin again. Thank you guys.
Thank you
so
for
much
having us, Nick. It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, for TitleTown Throwdown, I'm Nick LeBlanc. I'll talk to you next Thursday, but stay tuned for MMA Complete with these two guys coming right up next. Thank you for listening to TitleTown Throwdown here on all SFBNRI platforms.
Yeah.